Polaris Galaxy has once again been plunged into jeopardy by the insidious evil of Dr. Nefarious, and he has gone even further than he ever has before.
That's right, strap on your gravity boots and hold close your 3 3/4 centicubic hexagonal washers, because Nefarious' ambition matches and he's in a club and he's dancing. But if there is one thing that is for certain, it's that this awe-inspiring adventure through space and time is an amalgamation of everything that they have learnt in the past, while striding boldly into the future, in which is almost certainly the best game in the series. Rift Apart is Insomniac's debut for the PlayStation 5 system for the Ratchet & Clank series. When it came out, it had been 8 years since an original Ratchet & Clank story. And seeing as PlayStations were so high in demand and very hard to catch, it's needless to say that this game was put into the pressure cooker, turned all the way up to the max, and boy, did they deliver. I mean, that they undoubtedly delivered in spades. There's so much to unpack, let's jump into it. Now, I quite simply have to start by saying I never wanted to put this game down. I really had to force myself away from the screen to, do those things like eat and drink. I feel like these days it's a rare thing to be so deeply engrossed into a video game, but looking back, it's so easy to see why. It all starts with the accessibility of this game. It's shown to you right from the start when it lets you select a graphics option. There are 3 different graphics modes, each one bringing something different to the table. I personally played the whole game on fidelity mode, and you know what? I feel like I did a big bad. Because while fidelity mode places you in 30 frames per second with a natural 4K image, adding ray tracing, enhanced lighting, additional VFX, and increased density, there are 2 more modes, and they're both performance modes. Performance mode gives you dynamic 4K locked at 60 frames per second. 60! If there's one thing I can tell you, it absolutely blows you away. It looks amazing, and I tried so hard, and when I say hard, I mean so hard, to try and capture it in 4K at 60 frames, and it was literally impossible for my computer to do. I can't show you anything that'll do it justice. It looks so amazing. But what was most impressive about these graphics options is that I tried all 3 of them at different stages of time. Not once in any of the graphics modes did the game break down or even falter at all. It provided a crisp, clear experience the whole time that is so incredibly easy on the eyes. And, talking about eyes, the attention to detail is evident in every character design in the whole game. You've been able to see it in all of these pictures that I've taken. I went a little ham taking pictures of all the characters in the game just because they all look so bloody brilliant. Insomniac has always been great at displaying humour and emotions through body language and facial expressions, and in Rift Apart, you feel like every character were transferring all their emotions straight into your room, straight in front of you. They were seriously, so many times, a character would look in the direction of the camera, and I was absorbed by the colour and shine of their eyes. I felt the emotions that they were feeling, and also, did I mention, you look at their eyes, and you can literally see the reflections of the level and the light reflecting off of their eyes. Like, what? That's bloody insane. During the cutscenes as well, I tried capturing it in a few images. Don't know if it was there. So basically, in summary, everyone and everything looks damn gorgeous!
Detail, detail, detail.
The detail! As I said just before, throughout the game, we are introduced to so many characters, both good and evil. Quite often, Video games struggle with giving their characters identity in life, but as described before, Rift Apart has such fantastic character development that each character feels like they have their own personal arc to fulfill, and it was executed so excellently that by the end of the story you feel content in knowing their story. Being set in an alternate dimension, it's a given that either copies or alternate versions of characters and enemies will show up, and it's quite simply fascinating to see how they turn out. But do not fear. While the premise of the story might threaten to change the characters away from how you love them to be, Insomniac's trademark humour is on full display here, with gimmicks, facial expressions, jokes genuinely making you laugh. I personally, a few times, upon meeting one of these characters, could not stop for a full 5, if not 10 minutes. Absolutely bawling, laughing my guts out. I really wish I could share with you who it was, but I probably shouldn't, because spoilers, my friend. Spoilers. And the characters, the planets, bellissimo. Without spoiling too much, I can tell you that the planets are so seductively crafted. Each one in an incredible blend of masterful set pieces, of explosive action and heartfelt story, and expansive biomes to explore and find all of the galaxy's secrets. Every planet has distinct differences and themes which set them apart from each other, and means visiting a new, unique planet left you wanting to explore and uncover its secrets. For longtime fans, seeing certain planets in an ultimate dimension is nothing short of euphoric. I found myself quite a few times shouting out in glee, pointing at something and recalling where I had seen it, or something similar to it, before. There is even one planet which shall remain unnamed that was able to be instantly recognized because it was incredibly rebuilt in 4K! And the mission path was the same. It was the same. Mostly when you see that, one might think, oh, that's just lazy. But it's so skillfully done with a much more expansive, explorable area and a beautiful 60 frames 4K that you can't help but be overwhelmed with nostalgia and joy. It's Rift Apart's way of reminding you that, well, yes, this is an alternate dimension where things are very different. Some things are still the same no matter what dimension you are in, and that is a good thing. Overall game additions, can we quickly mention the soundtrack is on point? As always, the theatrical music only adds to the scenery and action with noticeable Insomniac motifs on display throughout the game. Enemy voice lines and death noises, as always, provide great humorous fun as you romp around with a full arsenal at your disposal. You never get bored with the weaponry available at hand throughout the game. Throw bombs, shoot out high velocity bullets, turn enemies into pixels and piles of rubble. It never gets old. And with so many weapons to discover and use, it takes more than one playthrough to get all of them to max level. This includes the series' regular Omega weapons returning. Omega? These are accessible in New Game Plus replayability. We also see some of Ratchet & Clank's favourite extra features come back, with gold bolts providing more content to unlock, more than ever before, with extra skins, more music packs, and most importantly, cheats! Not most importantly, because it also adds a ton of excellent, fantastic, mesmerizing features to photo mode. I mean, I think you've seen it's apparent what photo mode can do throughout this whole video. All of the photos captured in this video with all the various colors and lightings, all done within photo mode, and it's also done so that you can capture some 3D images, like you can tilt the camera on a 3D axis, I mean, to capture exactly what you want. You can change their pose, their facial expressions, what they're holding, the lighting. It's one of the best photo modes that you will ever find. And it captures in 4K. I wish I could tell you more than this, but the story is phenomenal and sends you across space and time in such incredible fashion that it leaves you stuck to the screen and never wanting to leave. I can't divulge much more without giving away spoilers, but it's been crafted in a way that makes sense within the series. It's packed with many throwbacks to previous entries in the series, and you get to split your time evenly between two main storylines that meet up together in the end. Simply brilliant! And leaves you satisfied, but always, always, always leaving you wanting more! I want more! My only wish in this game is that we explored certain aspects of the game more, such as the so-called resistance, and there was a ton of lore surrounding the ultimate dimension. But really, it's just nitpicking because it absolutely feeds you a whole bunch of information that you can interpret for yourself. It's bloody amazing. All things considered, at the end of the day, I absolutely loved the game. I didn't want to stop. I wanted more. There were so many things amazing about it. There weren't too many negatives. I don't think it's the most perfect game in the world, even though it's amazing. So I'm going to give it gut decision. 9 out of 10 potatoes. That's right, we're suddenly using a potato scale. I didn't plan this, but 9 out of 10 potatoes. I simply cannot wait another 9 years for more Ratchet and Clank. Bring it on!